Hey coaches, Marty McNair. I am the founder of the Jordan McNair Foundation and the father of Jordan McNair. I was supposed to be there today in person. However, I had to get out of town on some business, some other business that was maybe a tad bit more pressing. So I told Boo that I will sit here and record a video for you all, and hopefully it will hit some points. So I'm Marty McNair, the founder of the Jordan McNair Foundation. Some of you all may remember our story. My son Jordan McNair was a University of Maryland offensive lineman that suffered a heat-related injury on the very first day of conditioning drills in the sophomore year. We literally went from a healthy kid Tuesday morning to an emergency liver transplant Friday morning. So as a father, you can imagine, I kept asking myself, what did I miss? What did I miss? What didn't I prepare him for? And one of the things that I didn't prepare him for was what I didn't know. Because when the coaches from University of Maryland were sitting at our kitchen table a few days prior to signing day, basically I just asked one question: can Jordan get some playing time? I just kind of assumed that they would have all of the safety measures in place. Here's a Big Ten school. What could possibly go wrong? Obviously something did go wrong, or I wouldn't be here making this video right here. My son Jordan had a heat stroke. He had a heat-related injury. It started off with heat exhaustion. They were running gases the very first day of practice, and unfortunately, when he started to get in distress, or when he started showing signs of distress, the athletic trainers didn't immediately respond to what was going on. So we literally went from heat stroke, heat exhaustion, meaning there was some cramps, there was some dizziness, there was some fogginess, to full-on heat exhaustion. So when you have heat exhaustion, that is the equivalent of your core body reaching, whenever your core body reaches 104 degrees, that's the equivalent of your body or your organs being in a microwave oven. You literally have a 20 to 30 minute window to cool a person down via ice packs, cold water tubs. If you start putting the ice on a person's head, an athlete's head, put it on their head, the back of their necks, under their armpits, at their groins, the bottom of their feet, basically within that 20 to 30 minute window, or put them in a cold, immerse them in a cold water tub, ice bath, cold shower or something like that, you can pretty much sit there and that kid will go home to their parents that evening. Unfortunately, in our case, Jordan had a core body temperature of 106 degrees for 1 hour and 37 minutes, 1 hour and 43 minutes before they got him to the ER. They had started the cooling down process, but unfortunately it was just too late. They had let it go from heat exhaustion to heat stroke. So one of the things that we, unfortunately in our case, we went from a healthy kid Tuesday morning to an emergency liver transplant Friday morning, with 85% of Jordan's liver being in necrosis. So 85% of Jordan's liver was dead. The organ transplant doctor specifically told us, Mom, Dad, if we do not make a decision to get this organ transplant right now, Jordan will be dead within 12 hours. Unfortunately, Jordan passed a week later on June the 13th of 2018, just due to so much damage and him being on the field so long with that high rate, or that core body temperature being 106 degrees. And you can imagine his core body temperature was cooking. But coaches in the room, as I as a parent once thought, and as so many of your students' parents or your athletes' parents think, they think you all are medical professionals. I have not met a coach, meaning they think you are a doctor, they think you are an athletic trainer. I have not met a coach yet that has gone to medical school. I have not. So, but this is as parents. Parents think that this is you all going to save their children. So one of the main things that I'd like to emphasize is safety. Practicing your emergency action plans, knowing your emergency action plans, knowing who's going to do what when that time happens. And that's the most important thing to keeping student athletes safe. In these dangerous temperatures, we have to be very, very mindful of when Boo calls practice. Don't get mad at Boo, because Boo is protecting not only the student athletes, but he's protecting you as well. Things get very, very dangerous in the heat. Unfortunately, we've lost we've lost a few kids, or a couple of kids are fighting for their life right now. These types of injuries always happen during conditioning, spring practice, summer practice, because what do? We think that, oh, the kids will be okay and it's hot, so we'd have them out running around. The average parent don't know to say, you know what, my kid's not running around, they're gonna be out there with you. I know the heat in Georgia gets exceptionally hot. I'm from up north. It's not the same type of heat, but it gets hot up here as well, but it gets hotter down there. Don't assume that these young people are acclimated. And what I mean by acclimated, meaning that give them 7 to 14 days to get adjusted to the temperatures adjusted to the weather conditions, and most importantly, adjusted to the heat. And what I mean specifically by that, don't be out there doing ups and downs or just these extensive drills or having them run too much the first couple of days of practice. When do these injuries always happen? When do they become tragedies? Usually the first week of practice, the first couple of days of practice, when usually we have, as coaches, we have student athletes out there doing too much too quick. We don't know if they hydrated or not. We don't know if they got any rest the night before. We don't know what their nutrition looks like. Again, we just got them out running the first day of practice, and this is where a lot of these student athletes just aren't prepared, especially at the youth level as well. So I encourage everybody to, if you have an emergency action plan, follow it to a T. Be mindful. Guess what? If Boo calls practices, I can't say that enough, he's protecting not only the student athlete, but he's protecting you. Because parents have two questions they always ask. Can my child play, and why isn't my child playing? They assume that everything's safety related, you all know. And a lot of times that's just not the case. I know Gwinnett County football, youth football, has a lot of safety systems in place, but again, we want to ensure their safety at all costs. So don't be mad when Boo calls practice. Don't worry, practice will be there tomorrow. And rest assured, I've learned the hard way, the game of football does not stop, or the game of any sport does not stop because a child dies. However, as a parent, parents want blood in the event that somebody hurts their child. Look, they've been pressing you to play their child, and then when you do play them and something happens, now it's your fault. So be mindful when it comes to that. None of these kids are getting NIL deals at the age that you all deal with. None of these kids are getting college scholarships at the age that you all deal with. And as Boo says, none of these kids are going to be singing the national anthem at the Super Bowl. So be mindful, and most importantly, be realistic when it comes to their safety. So I encourage everybody to, be smart, especially in these dangerous temperatures. I encourage everybody to follow us if you want to stay up to date on all the latest heat-related injury prevention, awareness, trainings, things like that. Hopefully I can get to Gwinnett County. Hopefully sometime this summer, Boo will have me again. But I just wanted to kind of share all these things with you. When Boo makes these decisions, and rest assured, family, coaches, nobody wants to be on the downside of losing a kid to a 100% preventable injury because you wanted to do another rep or you wanted to practice because the conditions were unsafe. That's the last thing you want to be known for, or the last thing that you want on your conscience. So I ask everybody, please follow us at the Jordan McNair Foundation .org, or follow us at the Jordan McNair on Instagram. We're on all social medias, but Facebook, the Jordan McNair Foundation, Instagram, Jordan McNair Foundation. And most importantly, coaches, keep them kids safe, man. And when Boo makes those decisions as an organization head to say, hey, we're going to keep kids safe, I can't emphasize enough, he's keeping you safe as well from a liability perspective. So everybody, again, have a great season. Keep everybody safe. And most importantly, man, make good decisions when you're dealing with other people's kids. Have a good day. Bye.